Let's walk through the steps of how to use a buttonhole presser foot. Welcome, I use sewing and DIY related content, and today we are talking about the buttonhole presser foot. So this is probably one of my favorite presser feet there is, just because of how much fun I love with buttons and buttonholes. Now the one thing to be sure of when you're using this is to see if you have a mechanical sewing machine, so like a 4-part buttonhole, or if you have a computerized where you just press a button and that is how you are able to add a buttonhole in. As you can see, this presser foot is quite large, especially when we start to compare it to our regular one. So there's a lot going on with this. And the idea is that your machine, if for a computerized machine, has all the steps already done for how to make that buttonhole. So you need something a little bit bigger to help it move back and forth. So now when we compare it to our regular presser foot, you can see there is quite a large size difference, and that's just because these two serve different purposes. Now on the back, the regular presser foot is pretty flat and smooth, and so is our buttonhole presser foot. You can see there is this opening, and that's where the buttonhole is being created. So depending on the size of your button, that may be bigger or smaller. So as an example, you can see on the back, mine has the spot for a button to go in, and so you can have different size buttons, and then this allows a start and a stop place. We're going to bring down this lever on our presser foot, and then our sewing machine will just move back and forth depending on the size of the button that we choose. So these can really vary in their shapes, so be sure to look at that when you are looking at your own buttonhole presser foot to see which types you have. Now I have a little button here, so let's say we want to make a buttonhole for this button. I would go over to my presser foot, and then I'm just going to be putting this into the back, making sure it's nice and secure, so you can see that now my presser foot is all set up and ready to go. So really this can use a lot of different size buttons. I would say if you had like a really large button, that may be a little much, but for most normal size buttons, this presser foot will do the job. Now for today, I'm only using woven material, so I just have some muslin material on hand, and I'm going to choose a spot where I want the button to go, so I'm just using a pen to draw a little dot on here, and that's going to be my start. I would highly recommend you always mark where the start for your button is going to be. The way this works is it's actually going to be moving backwards, so think about that when you are doing the overall shape and size for where do you want the buttonhole to go. So you can see I have that little dot right in the middle, so there's like those green lines. And so the black dot is right in the middle there, so that lets me know that's where I'm going to be starting. And then my buttonhole is going to be going into that little slot. And since I already have the button in, this would then just be ready to take off, so I'd be able to use it for adding in my buttonhole. Now for your fabric, in addition to marking wherever it's going to go, I would highly recommend adding some interfacing so that it helps to keep it a little stiff. Now this fabric today is already pretty thick, so I'm not going to worry about it too much, but just an idea in the future. In addition, if you are using stretch or a really thick material, there are a lot of different options available for that to help you, and I have a blog post on that. Like for example, really thick materials, you may need to help guide it along a little bit more, and for stretch fabrics, you would want to add some interfacing as well. So now let's come over to my sewing machine. So I have a little black button on the back that I just push to remove the original presser foot. So now I'm going to add my buttonhole where I already have that button installed on the back. So this is just a clip-in, very similar to how I normally do it. And you can see I'm just going to kind of push it up, get it lined up in place, and then put it into the little clip. So now that it is attached, it is ready to go, and I am then able to start the next process of getting it ready. So what we need to do now is go over to our sewing machine. Make sure you pick whichever buttonhole you want. Some machines have lots. I have a favorite, mine's 30 on here, but whichever buttonhole you want to use. And so you can see we have it set up, and my machine did tell me that I'm going to need a different presser foot, which is this buttonhole. And then I have this lever, so I'm going to be pulling this down, being sure it goes between that start and stop that we had talked about earlier. So this is how your machine knows how big or small to make that buttonhole, and it's dependent on the size of the button that's in the back. So now with all of this set up, I'm going to get my fabric. So where we had marked that little dot before, I'm going to line that up so that the needle is going into the dot. So you can see, I know it's a little hard to tell, but that needle is lined up with the black dot for the presser foot. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to press the presser foot down, so very similar to how you would a normal presser foot, and then begin the process of starting to sew. So for this, you're just going to either be pressing the start button on your machine or using your foot pedal, and then just let it begin. So for this, I do find it a little helpful just to lightly guide the fabric. You do not want to pull it, you do not want to tug at it. You're just helping the machine know where to go, and then you'll see the machine starts to go back and forth to create the buttonhole. In total, this takes probably about like a minute or so. I try not to go super fast. This is sped up so that we weren't sitting here the whole time while it made it. And then once it gets to the end, you'll start to notice that the machine starts doing the exact same stitch back and forth, and that's how you know that it's done. So once the buttonhole is complete, you can take it off your machine. This is what mine looks like. So I did a nice contrasting thread so you could see the difference. And we now have the front and back has this really nice and secure buttonhole. Now there are lots of different ways you could open your buttonhole. There's like little kits you can get. I do normally just get my seam ripper and very carefully open it. So I put the seam ripper into the fabric and then very gently push it. I have seen some people talk about putting a pin on one end so that you don't go through that full buttonhole at the other side. I haven't really had an issue with that, but definitely something to try if you are a little nervous. And then of course there are different kits you can buy if you want them to look even cleaner. So now we can just put our button in to see if it fits, and it does. It's like a perfect fit for this button, and that's because we used the buttonhole feature, so it had the right size and shape for the button. Super easy, super quick to do, and then of course you could make as many of these as you wanted. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what you want to see next. Thanks for watching.